All right, here's a quick tour of my cold press laminator printing press. I got this cold press laminator off the internet, off of Amazon, I think. This is the one that's not the Verver, and I'm not going to attempt to say the name. It's a 14-inch press. I mounted it into a box. As you can see, the box is the same width as the press. This press bed is just a piece of plexiglass or Lexan that I had laying around from another project. It's a 1/4 of an inch thick. I was talking to someone recently. The most important thing is that you pick a material that is not compressible. Whether it can bend, whether it's flimsy or stiff, is not such a big deal. It's compressible. You just don't want to give any to get in order if you're gonna, especially if you're doing any intaglio printing. But for relief, I can't imagine it's any better for that either. So basics of the box, pretty simple. Same width so that this plate doesn't get hung up on the way in or on the way out. For these rollers, these are from Home Depot. They're with the sliding glass door parts. I think they're just doors for a screen or some sort of part of the sliding glass door. They've got little grooves in them, so you can loosen the screws and move them up and down. That's super handy because I just set them so everything would be even with the bottom roller, so it doesn't go up or down, clunk, clunk. Would I do it again with the rollers? I might not. I might just have a wood cleat underneath here. The reason being is it tends to go on its own and then fall out and frighten the dog. So, yeah, works good, maybe too good. So there's that. And a word about press blankets. I'm not using anything fancy. I'm using, oh come on, there's a label here somewhere. These super cheap pieces of felt, there you go, from Joann's, Michael's, whatever your local cheesy craft store is. So what I tend to do is I get the press set where I like it. A little thicker than my just a hair thicker than my linoleum. I'll put a blanket or two on top if I'm doing intaglio, probably like 3 or 4 blankets. But if I run it through and it doesn't feel like it's thick and it's got enough pressure, or the print doesn't look that great, rather than turning these while I'm trying to print, I can just throw another felt on top to increase my pressure. So it's kind of nice because if you're doing like sometimes I'll do a mixture of relief and intaglio on the same run or the same print. For the intaglio print, I can put like 5 blankets on there, and for the relief print, maybe I'll put a piece of cardstock, like cardboard, chipboard, whatever you want to call it, over the top of my plate and paper, and then one or two felts or one felt. So it's kind of cool that way instead of messing with the knobs all the time. I tend to just get them parallel where I like them and start adding stuff to make the pressure higher. Another thing that I use is just craft foam. It's that, craft foam. Same aisle as this junk at the same store. And handy thing about this box, I can put all that junk in there when I'm not using the press. Take off my handles, throw them all in the box, and she fits on a shelf real nice. So I know I did a bang up job with the video editing because, that's what I'm into, not. But I hope that explains everything. Oh, one other tidbit. How did I mount the press to the box? One idea would be to make a block of wood or something that, like a clamp, where you could screw it down to the bottom and it would put pressure on here, and you just clamp it in by screwing or bolting it in. What I did was I drilled holes in the actual press and threaded in some screws. which was fun to line up, by the way. So anyway, that's how I did it. Just screwed the press to the board, built the box around the press. Rollers, you might want to skip those, or you can do it. It works nice. Maybe a longer press bed. I just made this that long because it seemed right, and I think that's about the length of the scrap that I have, and it stores nice. But if you could make it 25 or 50% longer, you wouldn't have the same problem I do with the thing just running out and falling off. So if you're gonna mount yours permanently, like you got a bench in your studio or shop and you're just gonna leave it up, to make it longer. You could also put a bumper on the bottom so it can't travel past a certain point. But that's what I do with this little guy. Hope that helps.